Good morning, dear listeners. Welcome back to our show. I'm here today with my cool friends, Corey, Bryant, and Felix. I hope you're all having a wonderful day so far, as I'm not doing too bad myself. Now, let's hear how the others are doing.
Not bad.
I'm good.
I'm good.
In this beautiful afternoon, let's sit and chat while sipping the coffee that I have provided. Corey, we're all teenagers. What do you think about teenage life in general?
Usually, teenagers like to use social media such as TikTok and Instagram to share experiences and create content. Teenagers also like to hang out with their friends at the mall or cafe.
Adolescence is also a time when teenagers focus on finding independence and identity and start to like the opposite gender. Lately, I've been worried about the impact of pornography on teenagers in the digital world because of how vulnerable teenagers are to pornographic content. I think we should all discuss this, shall we?
Okay.
Okay. By the way, why do we need to talk about the dangers of pornography? Is a pornography just explicit videos of naked people on the internet?
Well, you see, pornography needs to be addressed because it harms mental health, damages social morals, and can cause serious addiction, especially among children and teenagers. Pornography also promotes another reason we need to address this problem. It's because it normalizes violence and the degradation of women. Pornography is also very abundant, especially on the internet or on your digital devices, where kids and teenagers normally use.
Also, I've heard on TikTok that AI can also make pornographic contents, and we know how commonly used AI is, don't we? Yeah, you can even make deepfake pornography, which means someone's face can be put on explicit videos that can even be mass-produced due to how often and popular it is. I've also heard that there is a case where a book that students use to study promotes a pornographic website. How messed up is that?
One case of this Brandon Tyler, a 26-year-old man, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for creating and sharing AI-generated porn of women he knew. He took pictures from social media, used AI to make explicit images, and posted them online where kids and teenagers could see. Interestingly, even though AIs have regulations on what people want, there is some way people can still make explicit videos with AI. The digital world is also quite abundant with porn because of how easy it is to upload and send it to millions of people, and it is also pretty accessible due to how normalized porn is on the internet. However, this normalization has serious consequences, as highlighted by a recent case in the UK where authorities have found a disturbing rise in young people viewing or sharing explicit images online.
Oh, I see. His case highlights how artificial intelligence and deepfake technology are being misused to create non-consensual sexual content by taking ordinary social media photos and manipulating them into explicit images, which not only violates the privacy and dignity of the victims, but also exposes them for harassment, humiliation, and long-term emotional harm.
This case is also connected to the digital world because the crimes were carried out online using artificial intelligence to manipulate social media photos into explicit deepfake images and then sharing them on online forums, showing how digital platforms and technology can be misused to harass, humiliate, and exploit victims.
In Christian ethics, watching pornography violates several ethics taught by God, such as the ethics of holiness, social media ethics, humanitarian ethics, religious ethics, and so on. My focus is the ethics of holiness. The principles of holiness include thinking holily, keeping lust out of our minds, avoiding defilement, self-control, listening to our conscience, and so on.
In the digital world, teenagers could gain knowledge, communicate with others, express creativity, find entertainment, and share their feelings on social platforms. Teenagers' digital lifestyle is centered on smartphones, social media, and other online platforms for entertainment, learning, or communication. But it also brings challenges like screen addiction, cyberbullying, and privacy risk. So, responsible use is important.
In the digital age, it's important for teenagers to understand Christian ethics so they can know what is right and what's wrong based on God's Word. This understanding helps them build strong character and resist worldly temptations. For example, when teenagers who know Christian ethics encounter pornography, they can recognize that it's wrong because the Bible clearly says so.
So, I can conclude that pornography in the digital world is a serious danger for teenagers because it is so easy to access and can harm mental health, morality, and relationships. The case of AI-generated pornography shows how technology can be misused to exploit others, which is why awareness and responsibility are needed. As Christian teenagers, we are called to stay pure in heart and use the digital world wisely for growth and creativity.
In Matthew chapter 5 verse 25, Jesus says, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart." This verse shows that even entertaining lustful thoughts is a sin before God. Therefore, when we look at pornography, our sin is just as serious as that of someone who actually commits the act. Alright, I guess that's all for today. Thank you all for lending your time here on our podcast for today. Hopefully, more people will be more aware about pornography. Also, here's the quote of the day by Thomas Spencer Monson. "Avoid any semblance of pornography. It's dangerous and addictive. If you continue to view pornography, your spirit will become desensitized and your conscience will erode." We wish you all goodbye and see you next time.